Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day. Father, thank you that you always grow us in wisdom. Almighty Father, as we start our today's episode, Father, let it be of importance and let it speak wisdom into people. Almighty Father, let it be a success and let us be able to complete it successfully. In the name of the Father, I've prayed. Amen. Hello, our dear viewers. Hope that you are all doing good. So welcome back to yet another episode of Health Unmasked. And today we are going to be unmasking a very beautiful and interesting topic. You shouldn't miss this. Settle down and let, as usual, our co-hosts Fred and Alfat unmask for you a very beautiful topic. And today we have a special guest. We have a senior pharmacist, a man of God, meaning that we are going to be able to understand everything concerning drugs and in line with religion. So before we start all this, I want to give our special guest 1 or 2 minutes to totally introduce himself and let you understand him before we go deep into all this. So, Dr. Wabwire, what do you have to tell our dear viewers that are watching us today?
Our dear viewers, you're most welcome to today's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Joseph Wabwire, and I'm glad to be featuring on my first ever podcast in life.
Yeah, wow.
And thanks to the great team of Health Unmasked.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here. I'm a pharmacist. I also teach.
a senior pharmacist.
A senior pharmacist.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that actually my students have been able to put this up. It's very comforting, it's very energizing, and it reminds me that it's good to be on Somesa.
Wow. Yeah.
Welcome.
Msomesa of great students.
Yeah, you understand. So we always keep conducting this conversation such that we can educate people, we can help them make informed decisions. And you should always remember that we are here not just to give you too much information or just too little, but we want to give you that one that is enough for you to make an informed decision. But before we start all that, I want us to first break the ice. I can see you people, it's a cold day. Yeah, I want us first break the ice, and you should be eager for anything that is coming. Yeah, before we dig deep into this, because to our dear viewers, those who haven't subscribed, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Click onto that bell and you're going to be capable of seeing any video that drops in every time that we are going to be posting on our YouTube. Like and share this content to your friends, your family members, because it will be so much of help. So, are you people ready for the icebreaker?
Yes.
Yeah, because I want, before we go into all that information, I know these people are well packed with information, but before we do that, let us first do this. So this is what we are going to do. I have 4 papers. We have 4. We have 4 papers. Each one of us is going to pick 1 paper from this cup, and a paper you pick has a question. You're going to read the question such that our dear viewers can know exactly what the paper requires you to do.
No changing question.
No, no changing question. You just pick at once. The moment you open, you cannot put the paper back. Read the question to the viewers, and you're going to tell us what you think about the question.
Okay.
So we are going to start. I'm shaking this such that it can be fair.
Fair and fair.
Yeah, I don't want you to say that, hey, you knew the question you are going to answer. No. So I'm going to go first, and I'm picking this. Everyone is going to pick 1.
I'll be the last.
So who is starting this? If we all have our questions, oh my God.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You're going to read the question, our dear viewers, and they are going to answer.
Yes.
A wrong question to
So who goes first?
I'll go.
as usual.
You're going first. Our special guest
the guest
is
is
going
first.
first.
Easier
Oh
to read.
my
Yes.
God.
Okay, we
So-
continue.
The question is, what is the wildest or funniest myth you have ever heard about contraceptives or birth control? Now, let me tell you, being a teacher, I've had guys give me myths. One of them told me that if they have sexual intercourse, and they pour Coca-Cola into the vagina,
my
they will
God.
not conceive.
That is
But remember, the
dangerous.
man's semen is made up of fructose,
My
and
God.
soda is made up of high concentration sucrose. So, and then remember, soda is acidic, and also the genital region of the lady is also acidic. So I don't know who told this person. They are literally giving the sperm more food and the best
my
pH
God.
to go in front.
Have they tried it and it worked?
It did work.
It's a
Ah. Okay. By the way, you're free to explain why you're giving an answer you're giving. So you can either tell them your answer and keep quiet, or you can back up your answer.
So I didn't know that Coca-Cola is medicine in contraception.
My
It is not
God.
a contraceptive. It is, those words pharmacists like to use, which supports. It's a catalyst. It's a catalyst of conception.
So it speeds up conception.
Yeah, please don't use Coca-Cola, please.
Okay. The other question says, if contraceptives were a superhero team, what would be the Captain America?
The most powerful Captain America.
Do you watch movies?
Do you know Captain America? Who's
Only that
Captain
I don't
America?
watch a Marvel franchise.
So who would
I
be
watch
the
other
man?
movies. But basically, if contraceptives were a superhero team, what would be the Captain America? I think Withdraw could be the Captain America.
By the end of today.
It's natural and
By the end of today, by the end of this episode. Oh my God. Okay. Today, ladies, last.
Let me read mine also. Mine is a bit tricky. I said it's the right person but the wrong person.
Oh my
But anyway,
God.
let me answer it. The question says, would you rather deal with the pill reminder every day or one injection every 3 months? Me, I would advise from a perspective of a medical personnel. There's what they call drug adherence. Usually when someone is to take a drug every single day, it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
So usually,
compliance.
me, I would say that at least one injection after every 3 months would be better. It will promote what they call adherence.
it sounds
Because
better.
you would risk saying that you're going to be taking every single day, it will be a bit hard. So at least an injection for once within 3 months is better than you taking pills every single day. Yeah, me, that's what I would say.
Will it be Captain America?
It would be Withdraw.
Oh my God. You people are supporting it. Okay.
I don't know where I got that idea from. But this that was Captain
You
America.
support the idea, I don't know where you got it from.
Okay.
I doubt if he has not tried.
You will tell us.
So my question is, what is that one contraceptive myth or question you're most excited for our guest speaker to clear up today?
Hey,
I have many questions, but the paper is clear that one contraceptive myth that you're most excited about, and I think I would like to know by the end of this session, do contraceptives make people gain weight?
We shall discuss that in detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just getting excited.
Yeah, there are actually side effects,
Yeah.
and you're going to like some of these side effects. Did you know, for example, there is a side effect of estrogen, which makes a lady have less hair under her chin, less hair on her skin, and less hair in the pubic area. and also reduces ovulation pain, but it's a side effect.
Yeah.
So not all side effects are bad. Some of them are like, in fact, there are women who are suffering with acne because of adolescence, like they never outgrew those hormones which bring the acne on the skin, and the treatment we give them is actually hormonal contraceptives.
Yeah.
So as we edit the hormones, the skin becomes clear.
Wow. This
So-
is just a tip of
Beautiful.
the iceberg.
Yeah. So I think our dear viewers, you can see where we are going. I know you're asking yourself questions, and keep dropping your comments into the comment section. You never know, that might be our next episode. Your comment might be so touching, and we might make it a full episode.
Of
So
part two,
guys,
part three.
yes, we might make an episode out of your comment. So what do you think this topic, because we are going to talk about family planning and birth control specifically,
Wow.
why do you think this topic is so important to everyone, almost everyone, including men, women, children, everyone? Why do you think it is so important, family planning and birth control? But even before we talk about why it is important, our guest speaker, could you please, because people, they tend to think that family planning and birth control are the same thing. Why does the difference come in between those two words?
Okay, the similarity is that at the end of the day, you use the same method to achieve them.
Yeah.
But family planning, man and woman come together. We are bringing in an income of 800k a month. Our rent is 250. Are we able to pay school fees of 1M for 3 kids at a go? Then they said no. For the meantime, let's have one. Then let's increase our income so that we can have the second kid. That is family planning.
Which in actual sense it is planning your family.
Yeah, you're literally planning your family.
Yeah.
And that also includes things like how many children should we have, and what spacing should we have. Because someone will say, I want my children to have 4 years in between them, another wants 2 years. Then the commonest I've seen with ladies, when I start giving birth, I want to have and I give 4 kids
I get
in
that.
6 years.
Yes.
At age 30, I am done regaining size, and at 35, my daughter and I were competing for daddy.
Okay, that is the thing.
So, but that is all family planning. Now, birth control, these are the mechanisms that you're going to use to achieve your desired plan. Because, by the way, we need to set this very clear for our listeners.
Yes.
When men have intercourse, they release semen, and the semen has a sperm. Now, the lady also has a cell called an ovum, but that ovum is not there all the time. It's there specific days in the month. If the semen and the ovum meet, there will be fertilization, there will be conception, and there will be birth.
After 9 months.
That has to be made very clear. I have met especially teen girls who are surprised that they're pregnant. They enjoyed things for 2 years, nothing happened. On this 3rd year, she didn't even know that she's pregnant. She thought she was sick. She went to hospital. Every morning, I have nausea, I'm vomiting, I lose appetite. And what was happening?
Because what you tell me that I took a pill after all that, and you're expecting me to know that maybe I'm pregnant? No, because I
took a pill. There's one that didn't take pills and has never gotten pregnant.
Oh my God.
And the day they are pregnant, they're surprised.
Like what is surprising me and amusing me is that in this generation,
Yes.
you find someone who is 18,
Yes.
having menstrual periods,
Yes.
saying that they are surprised to be pregnant.
Hey.
So we have to make it clear, dear listener, viewer.
Yeah.
If you're ovum, dear girl, yes, I know you're as young as 13, but you have monthly periods. It means every month there is an ovum which was not fertilized, and it's getting rid by the body. The day it is fertilized, do not get rid. the body will not get rid of it. It will stay. It will
Yeah.
be only pregnancy until 9 months.
Yeah.
So let that one be very clear. So the methods we use to achieve our family are what we call the birth control.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So I think now that we are getting it so clear, there is family planning and there is birth control. Yeah. So after us knowing what it really means, what we are going to talk about, because it is so important that our dear viewers, before they listen to all that we are going to talk about, they first know what the topic really means. So I had a question in the first place. Why do you think this topic is of importance to almost everyone? Be it a man, woman, children, it is important to everyone. Why do you think it is like that?
Me, I would say that it is also important to a generation, especially the seasons we have gone into, whereby the concept of having planned kids is such an important thing.
Yes.
Because nowadays these issues, remember how great grandfather used to just give birth.
Yes.
Yeah, because it would take.
Now we see how life is expensive. You find out you may be having only 3 kids or 4 kids, but you cannot manage to educate them. You see people paying school fees for over 2 million,
Yeah.
for over 3 million. Then the $1 million question you can ask is, now, children of peasants, will they really manage to go to school? So this is where now you really see that this concept of family planning, ensuring that before you have a family, plan.
Yeah.
Have planned kids. Actually, as our generation now, we should think of planned kids.
You should be ready for what
just
is coming.
Saying it is accidental, those things are really going to cost.
Yeah,
you.
that's
So
true.
that is why I really think it's such an important topic. We really need to talk about it, especially now the times we are going into where life is really expensive. Everything should be planned.
So, Dr. Wawile, do you have anything to say about why family planning and birth control are of importance to? For me, I want to know, because I usually know it on the side of women. I want to know why even men need it. Even men need it to some extent. They need it. So, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, for starters, whenever men participate in family planning, the results are better, or there are higher chances of achieving the desired result as compared when it's only the woman participating.
Yeah, you're doing it on your own.
Because when it's one-sided, birth control has a number of techniques which need money and commitment, and sometimes reminders.
Yes.
So if it's one-sided, the reminder may miss.
You forget to take
Some may
that.
forget.
Yeah,
And that is 2 ways. For example, like they said there, Captain America is withdraw. Now, withdraw seems to be like the one which is done by the man. But my friend, for it to be effective, the lady has to be in it.
yes, now.
Because if she doesn't know that the man has intentions for withdrawal, the mistakes will happen. The plan will fail. So better results happen when you're both in it.
So you are not talking about children.
Consent.
Do children need this information? The teens, do they need this?
Yeah.
13, 14, because some parents are afraid of actually telling their kids about some things. They say that they are not telling them, even these little ones, because I saw someone complaining on internet. When you see someone calling, a vagina is a vagina, why do you tell a kid that this is susu? Tell him that this is your vagina, and if they touch this, you're going to say this. Tell them the fact. Why do you say that susu? You're not telling them what it actually does. So do you think this is important in children?
For me, I think it would be important in children, because first of all, by the time someone,
teens or even these kids?
actually mostly the teens, because if someone starts menstruating, it means they have reached sexual maturity, and if you reach sexual maturity, it means you're sexually active. There are some days in a month or a year, or at any one point, your body is going to demand for something. Now, if you're not informed of the repercussions of what you intend to do,
Your body is going to what?
to demand for something. Yes, it is going to demand.
Has it demanded?
It does. She must be knowing of
Your mother.
It's better. It is nature.
I love that statement. Your body is going to demand for
It will
something.
demand because hormones are what? Hormones are in action.
Actually, it was
Like
better
Dr. said.
even look direct into the
Yes,
camera.
your body is going to
You shouldn't
demand
shy away.
something, and it is hormones which are in what? In action.
Yes.
So what you have to do is, as parents, even though I'm not one anymore, but as parents, it is your responsibility to make sure that you inform your kids on these things, because if you don't let them know, they are going to make mistakes, and at the end of the day, someone is going to die in labor, or they will drop out of school, and then you ruin their future. So it's very important for them.
Have you seen parents packing pills for their children going to school?
Okay, it sounds awkward and weird, but it's a wise decision for a parent.
Oh my God.
Imagine a kid who is at university. This kid is maybe 20,
That one
19.
is an adult.
Yes, he's an
But a
adult.
senior teacher.
But they still
No,
have
what
a
time
future
did you join
to
university?
chase.
I was 18 by then.
You still had a future to chase. You understand? So
But you are still a child.
Oh my
Because you
God.
celebrated 18 at campus.
and remember, you're living alone.
Which means you're discouraging it in these ones of secondary, senior 2, senior 3.
If the kid is in secondary and is 13, 14, 15, please inform these kids about family
Birth
planning.
control.
Yes, it is very important to avoid regrets later that this kid again.
But
is
are they not
pregnant.
going to go around sleeping with men because now they know they are protected? Are they not going to go around sleeping with their fellow students?
There is a belief I have. I don't know, but you see, the decisions we make always come from our own thinking and beliefs we have. So if for you feel like because you're protected, sleeping around with men is the best choice for you, even someone who is not protected will do the same thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
But if you have value for yourself as a king, you're not going to go around sleeping with every man. But of course, taking precautions is not bad. It is not bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So, okay, we've understood what it should be done, why the children need this information, why women and men need this information. So, doctor,
Yes.
can you summarize for us or briefly tell us about different birth control methods? We want to know them in categories because
Yeah.
people, you can tell us both hormonal, non-hormonal, long-term, short-term. I know there are very many, but you can give us the usual ones commonly used in Uganda.
So, like we said, primarily the sperm and the ovum, we don't want them to meet.
Yes.
Because once they meet, there is conception. So, resisting conception is the contraception. Now, there are two methods. Two broad categories. One is artificial, the other one is natural. And the artificial methods, the natural methods, we are meaning methods which don't involve you using anything artificial, anything man-made. For example, a man detects that he's almost releasing semen or sperms, and so he pours the sperms on the bed or outside, what they call the withdrawal. Or a lady is able to monitor her monthly sexual cycle and know the days where she's likely to conceive and avoid intercourse on those days. So there are different methods. Some people are going to count beads. Some people are going to have sometimes the beads won't even around the hand. So this is the one. Yes, they are counting. Sometimes she has a calendar and she's following it. We even have phone apps these days which help girls to know their safe days and predict when they'll have their periods. Then there is a mucus which is always released around the cervix of a lady. So by noticing the thickness of the mucus, usually they insert the finger, she's able to tell when she's ovulating. And so usually the thicker the cervical mucus, the more the ovulation is happening. Because we need to understand ovulation. The egg has been released, ready to be fertilized. But the hormonal system of the lady works in a way that it makes her ready to be fertilized. So what does it mean? It means she will like men more that day. It will be hormone driven.
Okay.
She will be more seductive. if she's not noticing it. I mean, every day she has been elegantly dressed, but on this day, Hajat, hey, we are seeing your arms, we are seeing your Hajat. What's happening? Then after, Hajat becomes Hajat. Yeah, there was a hormonal issue somewhere, so she may not know, but her body was communicating. And this is one of the reasons why those who do it accidentally for the first time always conceive. Because they have been protecting themselves, but the day the accident happened is the day the ovulation happened. So in the natural methods, the lady is trying to calculate this season when she's most likely to conceive, and then make sure she avoids it. Then another natural method which will interest you: when a lady has given birth and she's breastfeeding, there are hormones, prolactin and oxytocin. That act of breastfeeding is going to resist the hormones which trigger her menstrual cycle. So as long as she's doing exclusive breastfeeding, what we call the lactation amenorrhea method, she's not going to be able to conceive. She'll even not have periods, by the way. It's like her system goes on a hold. Let us focus on the baby. But the moment you start going to work and introducing mashed potatoes to your baby and bringing a babysitter take care of your kid while you're working, sister. So those are the natural methods. And
now,
then yes,
I have two questions about your explanation.
I also have
One is the biblical aspect of withdrawal.
yes,
Because here, biblically, withdrawal is not allowed. You being a man of God,
yes,
and at the same time a scientist,
yes.
I trust you have the best answer for this. And then the other question is, how effective is this aspect of exclusive breastfeeding?
Yes.
How effective is it?
Now, like I said, exclusive breastfeeding is effective when the breastfeeding is exclusive. What happens is that the baby comes on the nipple and the mother develops the desire to breastfeed the baby. That desire is going to trigger hormones. Now, one thing that I always explain to people is that the breast is not a milk store. We call them mammary glands because they are they manufacture milk. So it's not like they are always manufacturing milk and it's there overflowing. No. That process of manufacturing milk is actually controlled hormonally, and one of the triggers is the mother's brain knowing that I want to breastfeed the child, or the child's nipples, the child's mouth on the nipples suckling. It usually triggers that reflex. Now, the hormones which are active in that period are what will resist the hormones of the sexual cycle. So the more often she's doing that, the more often she's resisting the other cycle. So that exclusive breastfeeding method is as effective as long as the mother is exclusive. It means the baby is not taking water, is not taking powder. The baby depends on your breast every time. You're not even pumping and excusing yourself. The moment you start, the method stops. But yes, biblically speaking, it's a very controversial issue going on here, because when you read the Old Testament, there are many festivals where the Israelites were not allowed to have intercourse, and also when the woman went through her menstrual bleeding, she was also not allowed to have intercourse. When you count it, a couple which was following the law will have 200 days in a year without intercourse. 200 days in a year? Yeah. Leaving them with 165 days, which are scattered across the year. So you find that biblically, there was the idea of contraception was in, that was the kind of abstinence, because abstinence is the most effective natural method of contraception. So they did majorly abstaining
abstinence, but in people who are not married. Because you cannot tell why people abstain.
So abstain is now being the Captain America in this case.
Yeah, abstain is the Captain America for those who are not married.
Okay.
Because as long as you abstain, you are sure no girl is going to come claiming. You ask her where. When did my sperm enter?
She took it in water.
Yeah. Now the story of Onan was ordered by God to give an heir to his brother who had died, and he disobeyed by withdrawing, and so he was killed instantly.
Hey.
So his was more of a specific situation. He disobeyed a command
From the Almighty.
Yeah, because his brother died without leaving a son. So the command was sleep with your brother's wife. And that child will not be called your child, it will be called your brother's child. And the man refused.
Disobedience.
It's a very sad story, because this young girl goes to her father-in-law and says, the one whom I was supposed to get a son with has died. What should I do? Then the father-in-law says, you wait for this other young one to grow up. And when he has grown up, he'll impregnate you. Very sad story. So the woman's like, I'm not going to wait. She went and acted as a prostitute, seduced her father-in-law, and bore sons for her father-in-law. It's one of those stories read the Bible.
One
Like,
kids of the same family.
Is this real?
but now this is where the story becomes weird. When the breastfeeding is exclusive. What happens is that the baby comes on the nipple, and the mother develops the desire to breastfeed the baby. That desire is going to trigger hormones. Now, one thing that I always explain to people is that a breast is not a milk store. We call them mammary glands because they are separate, they manufacture milk. So it's not like they are always manufacturing milk and it's there overflowing. No. That process of manufacturing milk is actually controlled hormonally, and one of the triggers is the mother's brain knowing that I want to breastfeed the child, or the child's nipples, the child's mouth on the nipples suckling. It usually triggers that reflex. Now, the hormones which are active in that period are what will resist the hormones of the sexual cycle. So the more often she's doing that, the more often she's resisting the other hormones. So that exclusive breastfeeding method is as effective as long as the mother is exclusive. Means the baby is not taking water, not taking powder. The baby depends on your breast every time. You're not even pumping and excusing yourself. The moment you start, the method stops. But yes, biblically speaking, it's a very controversial issue going on here. Because when you read the Old Testament, there are many festivals where the Israelites were not allowed to have intercourse. And also, when the woman went through her menstrual bleeding, she was also not allowed to have intercourse. When you count it, a couple which was following the law will have 200 days in a year without intercourse.
200 days in a year.
Yeah. Leaving them with 165 days, which are scattered across the year. So, you find that biblically, there was the idea of contraception was in, that was the kind of abstinence. Because abstinence is the most effective natural method of contraception.
Yes.
So they did majorly abstain.
Abstinence, but in people who are not married. Because you cannot tell married people.
So abstinence would not be the Captain America in this case.
Yeah, abstinence is the Captain America for those who are not married.
Okay.
Because as long as you abstain, you are sure no girl is going to come claim you. You'll ask her where. When did my sperm enter?
She took it in water.
Yeah. Now the story of Onan was ordered by God to give an heir to his brother who had died, and he disobeyed by withdrawing, and so he was killed instantly. So his was more of a specific situation. He disobeyed a command. Yeah, because his brother died without leaving a son. So the command was sleep with your brother's wife. And that child will not be called your child, it will be called your brother's child. And the man refused. It's a very sad story, because this young girl goes to her father-in-law and says, the one whom I was supposed to get a son with has died. What should I do? Then the father-in-law says, you wait for this other young one to grow up.
Oh my God.
And when he has grown up, he'll impregnate you. Very sad story. So the woman's like, I'm not going to wait. she went and acted as a prostitute, seduced her father-in-law, and both sons for her father-in-law. It's one of those stories in the Bible.
You want kids of the same family.
Is this real?
But now this is where the story becomes weird. She gives birth to twins, and then one of those twins, if you follow Matthew chapter 1, is actually in the genealogy of Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So what was happening is that this story was actually this lineage was being followed by God, because it was going through David all the way to Joseph and Mary. But now someone up in the lineage was disobeying, and God was like, my friend, not all children are supposed to be avoided.
You're not going to cancel
some
my plans.
children are different. They must come.
Yeah.
And it's also important, especially from the spiritual belief. You need to know whom are you resisting.
Yes.
Sometimes it's time for the child to come. And it's not about you take care of them. God knows his plans for the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, doctor, I have so many questions.
Every statement
that you make, I have a question in it. And it starts from ejaculation.
Yes.
Because Alfred was saying that is the Captain America.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, because you say that if at all it has been successful, of course being participated by the man and the woman, for the successful withdrawal, is it true that sperms are only released at the point of ejaculation, or they can be released at any point during sex?
Now, there is pre-ejaculation and ejaculation.
You see how you can wait for that moment. And remember, you just need one.
Yeah, actually, the statistics are out there. You can nowadays, AI has surrounded us. XAI, Meta AI, Google AI, Gemini AI, AI is everywhere. If you check the statistics, you'll be amazed at how high the failure rate of withdrawal is.
Yes.
One of the reasons being, semen is released at the climax of pleasure. So as he's having pleasure, the man's pleasure centers pile up that pleasure to a climax. So the climax is best enjoyed when he's in the woman. Now, having that climax in air takes another kind of training. And sometimes he may be successful, because I know of a man who has done it for over a decade and he has been successful.
That one should become a master now.
Captain America.
Yeah,
He's the Captain America.
Him and the wife are so comparative.
Yeah, but you see, sometimes also the lady wants that warmth, because apart from the pleasure, one of the things that sexual intercourse does, the benefit, it actually warms up the two people. Now, unlike men, our major opening is here, which is closed, the anus is closed. Women have another opening. And so when she tells you that coldness has passed through her, it means this cold wind has passed through her entire body. So sometimes this is her opportunity to warm up also internally. So she may desire that warmth of the warm semen. And brother is saying, I'm family planning. She may forcefully hold you in. And remember, you don't need 1 million, one sperm like this.
Yes.
So that one, unless sometimes
out
also,
of 1 million.
in the process of withdrawing, you're withdrawing while semen is pouring, some inside, some outside. Now the few which remained inside do that job.
See?
So
that's why we say each of you overcame.
In fact, we haven't looked at the artificial methods, but even on the natural methods, even if it is counting your safe days,
oh, yes.
I don't think I have ever entirely trusted those safe days. Maybe if you tell me that I should combine the two, maybe you know that these are my safe days, you've already counted using those apps for menstruation, and now you know that these are my safe days, and now you're going to have intercourse, which means you shall have to accompany it with withdrawal to make sure that there is no chance you're sure that these are my safe days, because they can also fail. If you try to rely on them completely, they might also fail. Even ejaculation, we have seen that it can fail, which means if you combine that, at least you might come up with a good
You
result.
increase the chances to 70,
Yes,
90, 100.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
like
why
such a
would
thing
you
as,
rely?
combined contraception and what you call emergency contraception. And we shall look at it, especially in the artificial side, why sometimes condoms are very effective, even in
to
people
any
who
other.
are doing natural. Because remember, the lady who's counting, the day when she's most sexually available is the day she's avoiding.
Yes.
So she's going against nature. Then
Yes.
that day when she's off the mood,
That
is
is
the
the
Which
day
are the safe days
supposed to
now?
and those are the safe days, and now that is
Oh.
when she's making herself available when she knows she's off the mood.
there is no estrogen and
Yeah, there's no luteinizing hormone. There's like it's
the body is just in its comfort zone.
yeah.
And now you think it is safe.
But there is that day when she'll get a man by the collar and grab him to bed.
And those are unsafe. Oh my
And those are
God.
now the unsafe days. So that already becomes like it's good on paper, but practically it may fail.
Kinda dangerous.
Yeah.
It may be, and then also, it's not all women whose bodies have strict cycles.
Yes.
A woman can have month 1 26, month 2 28, month 3 27, month 4 25. So if your cycles are irregular,
There's
sister,
irregularity.
man,
When would you start counting?
That is such a risk.
But doctor,
and by the way, before it comes, the smaller the cycle, the more likely to get conception.
Oh.
The ladies who in a
27.
calendar month,
If I stay, they can because they would need to
yeah,
understand that.
there are ladies who in a calendar month of 30 days, they will have 2 menstruations.
in the kind of month of
Of 30 days, they will have 2 menstruations.
Yeah.
You find her menstruation is as
Irregularities.
short as 22 days.
Yeah.
Say on 1st February she was menstruating, on 22nd Feb she was menstruating. So you find that within a period of 40 days, she has had 2 ovulations. So her chances of conception are also higher.
Yeah. But these are the things we face in everyday life, and I know our dear viewers have a lot of questions. As we said, drop those comments in the comment section, and we are going to be able to answer some of them by the end of the session. Some of them, you people that have commented first with your questions, we are going to answer them before we close the session. Those that will not be answered, we shall come back again in another episode answering the questions that were in this episode. So Alfred, you had something to say.
yeah, on the concept of safe days, doctor, on behalf of a friend.
Yes.
On behalf of a
Yeah,
friend.
we have
Okay.
a friend.
So how is someone supposed to count these days, and how best can they know that this is actually my safe day? And because about that question, there are 2 concepts I have been hearing about. One can actually count and be accurate on our safe days, and then 2, a married couple that is targeting to have either a baby boy or a baby girl. Scientifically, which I don't think is proven, but I hear that
On
the
these
cycle can
days.
predict the gender of the baby. Doctor, please put in
Counting the safe days.
And must
Yes, actually asked 2 questions.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, let's imagine this lady has 27 days between her periods. We count the first day of the period as day 1.
Then you see blood.
Yeah, when you see the blood.
Okay.
So usually you're not going to have intercourse in that period unless you're gang raped, which is a bit unfortunate. And there's also treatment for rape victims. Please, if the police disappoints you, run hospital first, deal with everything, then we can handle police later.
Yeah.
Then, so after the days of bleeding, that immediate period, we always call it safe days, because there is no conception which can happen. Now, the middle part of the
So
cycle,
immediately after the period.
Yes, immediately after the
the
period.
blood stops.
Yes.
Those are safe days.
those are safe days. Now, usually the middle part of the cycle, if there are 27 days, that means around day 13. That's when ovulation is most likely to occur.
To happen again.
So we look at 2 days before ovulation and 3 days after ovulation. It's almost literally a week. and we call it unsafe, extremely unsafe.
The dangerous days now.
And it is
And that is when you want.
As a woman.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, when a woman wants, like I always tell people, society has not trained men to say no to a ready woman.
Would you?
You're always
Society
ready.
has always trained a man to chase, catch her. But what if you go on this day and the lady is carrying you and is telling you breastfeed baby?
You are the one who has been, who they are chasing.
You're the one who's being chased. So most of the times when she wants, it happens. That's why in some circles they'll always tell the girls you're the one who controls it.
Hey.
Yeah, now about the gender. The X chromosome, if it pairs with another X chromosome from the man, we shall, of course the lady has only X chromosomes in her egg.
Yes.
So if it pairs with an X chromosome on the sperm, we shall have a girl. Then if the X chromosome in the lady pairs up with a Y chromosome in the man's sperm, we shall have a boy. Now, scientifically, this is where the manipulation comes in. That the Y chromosome is usually shorter, weaker,
so it dies easily.
than the X chromosome, and it dies quickly.
Okay.
Though it's a bit very fast.
It is faster than that.
Yeah. So sometimes the intercourse can be held 3 days after ovulation. The egg is still lingering around, but has not yet been shed out. And somehow this X sperm
Lands on it.
And then we have conception.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but usually after that ovulation period, now the egg is being prepared to be shed. We now call it again safe days until when we have our period.
Okay. Another question maybe I would like to chip in is it safe to have sex during your periods? Can you conceive? These are some questions people
If at all it happens, can you conceive?
Of course, you cannot conceive, but they almost felt like she should answer on behalf of women. It's uncomfortable
It's disgusting.
and
But
disgusting.
even to me as a man, like
Yes.
Even God condemns it.
Yeah.
even if it wasn't condemned by God.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
there's some men.
Oh my
Those
God.
men are sinners.
Yes.
They are sinners against their conscience, against the women, and even against God. Like, bro.
Maybe if you
Someone
use
is eating
drugs.
and you.
Yeah, like
How?
instead of having
You've
lubricants,
used-
you're having blood. Instead of someone having pleasure, she's having pain.
Yes, you might be having pressure, but she's
apart
having
from that,
pain.
STIs, brother,
Yeah,
candidiasis is a normal, very normal flora in the lady.
Yes.
It exists normally. But if it's exposed to any small wound on you, or it's exposed to your exposed tip of the penis, we don't know if it will be normal flora.
Then we shall be making.
Even to the ladies, the uterus is wide open during those menstruation, and then you might come with your infections, which means I might easily contract those infections.
Yeah, the infection may go
it is
to the
not safe
uterus.
at all. Yeah.
Hey.
So I think you people, I know we are going to receive questions at the end, and those are going to be coming from the viewers. But
Yes.
I know you have your own questions. We are going to keep in to make sure that the conversation ends. We are going to keep bringing the questions one by one until the conversation
we're
is
having
done.
questions.
So we've already looked at the natural
Natural.
methods. So can you people continue with the artificial methods of birth control?
Now, artificial, there are also two categories. The what we call the barrier methods. They use physical methods to avoid sperm from meeting ovum. Then there are the hormonal methods. So someone puts on a condom to literally trap all the sperms. And this condom, there's a female condom and there's a male condom. Then someone smears a gel which kills sperms. A spermicidal gel. That is also a barrier method.
Barrier method.
Someone inserts a cup inside her vagina, which will make sure the sperms don't cross to the cervix.
Diaphragm.
Or a diaphragm. So all those are barrier methods. Or someone inserts a copper coil in the uterus, because copper destroys sperms. So because of the spermicidal effect of copper, so they'll put it there and to always destroy sperms. And as for that one, it can stay there for even 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've seen about the artificial, and then but there is this one we've not talked about,
Nice.
the permanent ones. You know, we have the short term, the ones that we can
yes.
use for short term,
Yes,
long
yes,
term,
yes.
and then there are the permanent ones.
If a man cuts the tube between his testicles and the prostate gland, we call it the vas deferens.
Yes, that's different.
He will have testosterone, he will be high, etc. But when it's time for ejaculation, his semen will have seminiferous fluid, his semen will have prostate fluid, but his semen will not have sperm.
Sperm cells.
So he will be permanently unable to impregnate a lady unless by some John Hopkins level kind of surgery we reverse those cut tubes. Because let me tell you, it's easy to cut a microscopic tube and tie it. Okay, Janice, it's really small. You need some good magnifying. But now getting that very tiny tube and you rejoin it, some AI nanotechnology Wakanda-ish.
Which means they don't cut the whole of it.
Yeah, they just cut part of it, then tie.
So, how safe, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, you tell us our viewers, how safe is that procedure?
Now, being surgical, if it's done by a professional in a surgical environment, that means infections will not enter in. The only risk is the infection entering the wound created. And then the post-surgical care. So if that can be taken care of, we are good to go.
There is no losing life in the process?
No life will be lost.
So is it legal in Uganda? You just enter a hospital and you say that I want to do this, and it is done just like that?
When you say hospital, Uganda, okay, I'm a pharmacist, and you see, for us in the pharmacy profession, we tried our best to regulate. A client knows the difference between a drug shop and a pharmacy. But we are yet to know from our colleagues a clear difference between a clinic and a hospital. And then a hospital which has a physician, or a hospital which has a theater and is carrying out surgery. Like, we need a point where a day-to-day person can tell the difference.
So, doctor, the difference between these two is not stated by the governing councils, or it's just that
it's not
the community is not aware.
It's not enforced.
Because literally for me, a clinic is supposed to be specialized. And the hospital handles most of the conditions we have.
True.
So you have an art clinic which is dealing with HIVs. That is antiretrovirals, and then you have maybe diabetes clinic dealing with diabetes alone. And then the hospital, you can find all these departments in the hospital.
How about if
that's how I understand
the hospital doesn't offer everything?
Now that's where
it cannot do surgery, it cannot do some complicated tests, but it can just do some simple treating.
Now is that one the hospital?
What do you call it?
Supposed to be.
But you get the concern. Because if it was made clear, it would be easy just tell viewers, go to a hospital. But someone will go to something labeled hospital and say, you told me go to hospital.
And I went to hospital.
And you're like,
I think maybe then we should talk about things like fertility clinic.
That will be another topic, because fertility, we are now dealing with the opposite of birth control.
Birth control,
It is its own world.
Yes.
Very
Doctor,
interesting.
before we switch to another thing, how is that permanent birth control done in ladies? Because we've seen that.
Yes. Now in ladies, they're going to cut the fallopian tube and also tie it, so that even though she ovulates, even though she does what, the ovum will never cross through to the uterus. And remember, fertilization happens in the fallopian tube. So even if his sperms go where, they will always just die within the uterus.
Oh,
Yeah.
so where do the eggs die from? Because they are not going.
They will just stay there in the fallopian tube, and
Will she still be going through her normal periods?
but without having eggs.
I think the periods will happen.
Yes. Because what
making
causes
that
the
shades
period
of-
is when the egg is released, there is what we call a follicle which releases it. So that follicle becomes another organ called a corpus luteum.
Yes.
So it's able to know whether the egg has been fertilized and implanted.
Does not.
So if that implantation of a fertilized egg doesn't happen, the corpus luteum will degenerate. And anytime it degenerates, we have the
The
bleeding
bleeding.
happening.
So, doctor,
Yes.
injectables and implants in Uganda, they are so common and people know them. But
Yes.
then most people have the fear for them. They think that going for those implants, doing what, they rather opt to go for the other hormonal pills and what, but not the other permanent things. Why do you think people have this fear
Now,
with that?
hormonal methods, you're talking of either a combined oral contraceptives, which is called the COCs. It's combining estrogen and progesterone, or another hormonal method is usually levogenestrol, which is an emergency contraception, but it's also a hormone. Then sometimes we also have progesterone only pills or progesterone only contraceptions, which are bit the commonest. So the hormones can be taken as a tablet. And some of the good advantages, especially of the estrogen and progesterone, the COCs, is the ovulation pain will reduce, the cramps will reduce, the period will reduce, and the hormones, because they are now coming in artificially, they are going to edit the woman's system, so she'll have a predictable cycle.
Yes.
So in a way, that becomes a treatment for a woman with irregular cycles.
Regular periods.
So it helps her. But now remember, your body works in a way that it can always sense presence or absence of hormones. So when you suddenly remove or stop the hormonal methods, the artificial hormones, the natural hormones may easily start being produced to replace what is missing. And there may be a time for the balance to regain.
Yeah.
And that's what we call the time for return of fertility. Now, some methods, especially the progesterone only methods, like the injection, because this is an injection you inject, and for the next 3 months, it's going to remain in the blood, and it will make sure she cannot conceive. It's what ladies like about is that if she wants to do contraception for a whole year, don't want to produce this year, it becomes easy. But now the problem is the regain of fertility can take long. From anywhere between 1 month to 12 months.
Now I
Because
get
the
it.
hormonal system is trying to.
People not to use those.
Now I get
control
it. I get it.
No, I get.
Because usually I get patients asking me, I've been using the injector plan, but now I've stopped, but I'm failing to conceive. What's not
Yes.
happening? Only that is the
You need to
case.
put in that.
Maybe are there medication that can rebalance that fast? Or
Because you've been playing with nature. So it will really take a physician to do a hormonal assessment of the lady's system, because now, like I told you, in the fertility clinics, that is now we're now dealing with infertility, of which one major cause of infertility is the hormones not balancing themselves.
Yes.
We're not having a clear menstruation, ovulation, and then menstruation again. So when that is not being balanced, sometimes we may try to see what is lacking. Is it estrogen? Let us start to give you artificial estrogen so that we regain the cycle. Or generally, it needs an assessment, then the treatment will be targeted to whatever hormone it is. However, naturally, the fertility comes back, but not instantly. Because you look at one, for example, long-term method, which is not hormonal, is the copper IUD. It just kills the sperms as long as it's there. Some of them are for 1 year, 2-3 years, given the amount of copper. The day the lady removes it, fertility is regained instantly.
Yes,
Yes,
so it doesn't hit the hormonal system.
and then being non-hormonal, you find it's not giving her all these side effects.
The good ones and the bad ones.
Yeah. Though being a device, she gets a risk of infections, especially at the point of inserting it. Someone may insert it non-professionally, and it may cause wounds in the uterus. And remember, every time you hear the word wound, there is a risk of bacteria outside entering the body through that wound.
Yes.
So it really needs to be done by a professional.
So, doctor, that's a very same point. Are those implants, those copper what?
By the way, I've not yet
Are
spoken
they
about the implants.
Are they not, when they insert that thing into you, are you not going to be feeling uncomfortable for the rest of those years that you're going to spend with it?
I know
Are you free like other people?
very free, you're a normal woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you don't even sense it that it is there.
Yeah, you don't, because like now the implant, it may be, these words are really bigger than the implants. It can be like a half of our
So it is that
echo
small.
diagram. Yeah, it's really small, and they're going to insert it beneath the skin, and then from there it will be releasing progesterone at controlled intervals of a period. Some of them are for 5 years. Some of them are for 4 years. So there are women whose desire is long-term family planning.
Can you reverse that? You might go and take it. After 2 years, you don't want it anymore. Now you want to produce.
Now there, you have to remove it. Because they will have to go the site where they put it in, then kind of pull it out, so that it stops releasing its hormone into the person. But like we said, with hormonal systems, it is really individual based. The fertility may not be instant return. It may take anywhere between a month to 3 months for usually the normal, but the highly effective hormones like the injection, which is very famous, it may even take up to a year to regain fertility.
So someone has not become infertile, but it's just...
Yeah, they are not infertile, it's just the hormones.
Now, doctor, first of me understand this. Okay, put a difference between the COCs and the emergency, because ideologically people are misusing the emergency.
Oh,
making
yes.
it a daily food.
Oh yes.
Please make it clear to our dear viewers. And also the COCs, because I hear someone comes to you and tells you, I want to use the COC as emergency, because for them they believe when they swallow 2 tablets of the COC, it can work as an emergency, because they fear the emergency maybe has a lot of side effects.
Now, for starters, if your sexual activity is high, that means you have sex weekly or daily. Usually weekly or daily. That's what we refer to high sexual activity. We advise you to do contraception, not emergency contraception. Emergency, like the word says, it's emergency. The girl was raped by her gate man. She doesn't want to carry a baby for the gate man. And in a window of 72 hours, we are able to introduce a hormone which will prevent contraception and at the same time somehow quicken the menstrual cycle so that she bleeds out whatever had come in case the man raped her on ovulation day. That's how levogenestro works. But now you're not supposed to do more than twice in 1 monthly cycle of emergency.
I think you should re-emphasize.
You're not
that.
supposed to do it more than twice. So if you're doing it weekly, you're doing it daily, sister, you're going to reach a time when now you want.
Someone is being raped daily.
Yeah, you cannot say you're being raped daily, or you cannot say that you're making mistakes daily, because with the mistake of ovulation is there. We understand. You don't like the guy. He's just your border guy. Hey man, this day somehow it smelled nice to you. That was ovulation. We understand, but we don't think you're going to ovulate every day or every week. So if you see your activity is like for those of the married people, please just go into normal contraception.
Yeah, just get the other one for 5 years.
Doctor, talking about those emergency.
Now the 2 tablets, it's not advised, because you're doing a hormonal overload, and the side effects. I have talked about the desirable side effects, but there are those non-desirable side effects, because we're giving you hormones which make a woman a woman. In fact, we use these same hormones when treating menopausal issues. Around when you're even talking about contraception in teenagers, it's a hot topic in the medical world, because medically you know that teenager is capable of conceiving, so you want to introduce contraception to a 15-year-old. Morally, introducing it to the 15-year-old easily gets interpreted as endorsement of sexual intercourse.
Yes.
So you find the moral card is having a problem with this. Then the scientific card is like, she has failed morally. Let me just help her.
Let us intervene.
Yeah. So the same thing also with the abortion thing. Like scientifically, you're like, okay, you don't want the baby can go. But then morally, this girl is going to have this trauma, because it's usually not put on the front of abortion. What they always put on the front of abortion is success. We have aborted 50 girls successfully. What happened there? Mental health after the abortion. She's going to have this thing of, I had a baby and I lost it. Because they get attached to their pregnancies. Whether they know it or not, there's an attachment which happens. So it stays in her that I lost my kid. So when she's counting the number of children she has, she always remembers there's that other one whom I lost.
Yes.
So it's that's tough. But then also, scientifically, there's an age where it is easier or safer to abort. We're talking of first trimester, first 3 months of pregnancy, as compared to when this child has started to make your belly bulge.
The cell are formed into a living.
It becomes more dangerous, because the primary problem we are going to have is the loss of blood. Uncontrolled loss of blood, which can make you die of hypovolemic shock. So it really needs to be done medically under some proper supervision. And now that's where it becomes interesting, because legally that was stopped in Uganda. So medically they will do the abortion illegally, much as there's a possibility. And also the other moral side, this girl has been raped by a madman on the street. No one rescued her, everyone was busy supporting the mad guy. And she has conceived a child for a father who's absent from day one.
Who doesn't know that?
Who doesn't know that he's a father? And so what happens to the child? So we find that medically we want to remove the child. If women want to remove this kid in day 2, but now the moral card is speaking a different language. So generally it's in between, say, a balance. One side will always win, one will always.
At some point you need to adjust. Now, like these mothers that understand that maybe the child they are carrying maybe has spina bifida. Because how can you, some of them opt to abort because they are looking at the expenses bringing that child into the world. You don't have the money to treat the child, you don't have anything, which means at some point you need to adjust to make someone comfortable with the decision they are taking.
After abortion, one of the things we don't expect is you to have intercourse. So we want you to first heal, and therefore we think you shouldn't even be thinking of contraception in the first place after the abortion. First heal. But if you're to have contraception, choose something which is really favorable and with lesser side effects, because one of those side effects of some of these hormonal contraceptives is excessive bleeding. Bleeding too much, like dysmenorrhea, menorrhagia, real bleeding. So please first relax.
So that's true. So I have my last question here. You want to go first?
Let me. This is not going to be so hard. This person is inquiring that, can I get pregnant after having my tubes tied?
No.
They have answered the question.
You cannot get pregnant.
Ovum and sperm have to meet unless the sperm was released by injection into the like, really you can't.
Maybe before that, why this person is asking that question. Recently there is a story I had. There is someone who said that they had unprotected sex with the partner. Then the girl took the pill. After taking the pill, they again had sex, but surprisingly she conceived. So the question was, because I hear that some of these pills work for 72 hours.
She took a emergency contraception.
Yes.
It failed.
So they went and did it again, but the thing failed to work. What was the magic behind that? Did she has to take it again after again having, or
You just say it failed to work. Yeah, because you're aware of how we call this, drug interactions. It's something as simple as a drug interaction. She could have had something which just makes it null and void, an antagonist in her system.
You're using
so that does not mean that it does not work.
Yeah.
Now we get it.
Yeah, because when you look into the concept of contraception failure, that's when you look at some of these interactions that some people don't actually pay attention to.
Yes, that's true. We want to come to the end. I know we have so many questions. I think we need to make part 2 of this episode.
For real,
because
questions are endless.
Oh my God. Doctor, from your experience, what are the most accessible and affordable contraceptives in Uganda?
If I go to the washrooms of this place, I'll find condoms.
Yes. Accessible and affordable.
I think that is enough answer. And those condoms, I'll not pay for them.
Yeah.
I'll just pick.
Accessible.
If I went to any public toilet, anywhere, I'll get condoms.
Yeah.
In most hostels, I'll get condoms. So among contraceptions, really, that one, it should be very affordable. I think in the pharmacies, they're 2,000, the cheapest I've seen. Yeah, and then the premium ones go for 10,000. So,
which means anyone can afford. So this is the very last one, I promise. What is considered normal when it comes to side effects of contraceptives? When should I see a doctor?
Especially when should you see a doctor? If you start vomiting, go and see a doctor. You may be pregnant.
After using the contraceptives.
Yes. If the bleeding is excessive, more than usual, go and see the doctor. Because sometimes
there is spotting and bleeding.
Yeah, there may be spotting, but there's this bleeding which is too much. Go and see a doctor immediately.
Yeah, people bleed for months after using those contraceptives.
You took pills and you missed your periods. Go and see the doctor.
Immediately.
Chances are high you are actually pregnant.
Okay, so we've come to the end of this session. I can't say that we have managed to talk about everything. There are so many questions, but we have to come to the end. We've come to the end of the session. Those that started with us, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking all these minutes to watch this and finish it. And we want to tell you that all your comments that you sent, we read them, and that's where we get other topics that we are going to discuss. Thank you for watching. Go to our TikTok, like, follow, share the videos to your family members. I know they need this information. Go to our YouTube, subscribe, such that you can receive the information. You always get notifications whenever we drop a new video. Like, share, do all that stuff, such that this podcast can be able to stand, and we shall always have to share with you all this information. We shall always keep bringing in new guests that are specialists in certain fields. They will be able to explain to us everything concerning their field. Thank you for watching. We've come to the end of this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.